Krishna Purachincho Bhavande Vyasarupino Shri Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindascha Ganaisaha Jayanti Patakaschacha Sarvesham Gurunartino. So we are continuing with our hearing discussion of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we're hearing about all the expansions of the Chaturvyuha in Vaikuntha Lok. So let's see where we are. Where did we leave off? Well, I'll start from the beginning of this page. And it's the Bengali, the English, it's the same pretty much, as it's all names. So I'm just going to read the English. So the Chaturvyuha, right? There are these expansions coming from Krishna, and you find them in Dwarka, Mathura, as really Krishna, Balaram, Krishna's son and grandson, right? And then, son and grandson, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And then they also, each of them expand into further forms in Vaikuntha. And so we're hearing about all of these different expansions. And so there are these 12 principal expansions presiding in Vaikuntha. And then from them there are further expansions. And these, as we were hearing yesterday, each of these principal 12 expansions within Vaikuntha, they are presiding over each of the 12 months in the Vedic calendar. And we're currently in the month of Padmanabha, if I recall correctly. Next month, coming up, Saturday, is the month of Damodar, which is also the beginning of Kartik. Right? So from Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, there are 8 additional pastime expansions. O Sanatan, please hear me as I mention their names. The 8 pastime expansions are Purushottam, Achyuta, Nrsimha, Janardhan, Hari, Krishna, and Hokshajan, and Upendra. Of these 8 expansions, 2 are pastime forms of Vasudeva. Their names are Hokshaja and Purushottam. The 2 pastime forms of Sankarshan are Upendra and Achyuta. The pastime forms of Pradyumna are Nrsimha and Janardhan, and the pastime forms of Aniruddha are Hari and Krishna. All these 24 forms constitute the chief Prabhav Vilas pastime forms of the Lord. They are named differently according to the position of weapons in their hands. So we are also going to hear a detailed description of the unique formation of these 4 instruments that they're holding in different order that is coming up. So hold on for that. Ihar madhye jahar hoy akara vesha bhed se hoy vilas vaibhav vibhed. Of all these, the forms that differ in dress and features are distinguished as Vaibhav Vilas. Padmanabh Trivikram Nrsimha Vaman Hari Krishna Dihoy Akade Vilakam. Of them, Padmanabha, Trivikram, Nrsimha, Vamana, Hari, Krishna, and so on, all have different bodily features. Krishna Prabhav Vilas Vasudevadi Charijan Se Charijana Vilas Vimshati Ganam. Vasudev and the 3 others are direct Prabhav pastime forms of Lord Krishna. Of these quadruple forms, the pastime expansions are 20 in number. Iha sabha pritak vaikunta paravyoma dame purvadi ashtadike tin grame. All these forms preside over different Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual world, beginning from the east in consecutive order. In each of 8 directions, there are 3 different forms. Yadyapi paravom sabaka nityadam tatapi brahmande kado kaho sanidan. Although they all have their residences eternally in the spiritual sky, some of them are situated within the material universes. Paravyom madhye narayaner nityastiti paravyom upadi krishna loke vibhuti. There is an eternal residence of Narayan in the spiritual sky. In the upper portion of the spiritual sky is a planet known as Krishna Loka, which is filled with all opulences. Ek Krishna Lokoi Trivida Prakar Gokulakya Mathurakya Dwarakakyar. The planet of Krishna Loka is divided into 3 sections: Gokul, Mathura, and Dwarka. Mathurate Keshaver Nitya Sanidhan Nilachale Purushottam Jagannath Dhanam. Lord Keshava eternally resides at Mathura, and Lord Purushottam, known by the name Jagannath, eternally resides at Nilachal. Prayage Madhava Mandade Shri Madhusudan Anandaranya Vasudev Padmanabh Janardhan. At Prayag, the Lord is situated as Bindu Madhava, and at Mandara Parvat, the Lord is known as Madhusudan. Vasudev, Padmanabh, and Janardam reside at Anandaranya. Vishnu Kanchite Vishnu Harirohe Mayapure Aichaya Nanamurti Brahmanda Bitade. At Vishnu Kanchi there is Lord Vishnu, at Mayapur Lord Hari, and throughout the universe a variety of other forms. Himata Brahmanda Madhye Sabar Parakash Sapta Dvipe Navakande Jahar Vilas. Within the universe the Lord is situated in different spiritual manifestations. These are situated on 7 islands in 9 sections. Thus their pastimes are going on. Sarvatra Prakashtar Bhakte Sukadite Jagater Dharmanashi Dharmastapite. The Lord is situated in all the universes in different forms, just to please His devotees. Thus the Lord destroys irreligious principles and establishes religious principles. Ihar Madhye Kadohoy Avatare Ganan Chaiche Vishnu Trivikram Nishinga Vamam. Of these forms, some are considered incarnations. Examples are Lord Vishnu, Lord Trivikram, Lord Nishinga, and Lord Vaman. Just going back to this previous verse. This is very beautiful. This conception. Ultimately, what is we can conceive of many reasons, right? Why the Lord appears in different forms and performs different pastimes. But this is mentioned sometimes as one primary reason: to please His devotees, right? To reciprocate with His devotees who have particular desire, right? To reciprocate with the Lord in a particular way, exchange a particular mood of devotion with the Lord. So this is mentioned in a few places in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Lord, really that is His primary purpose for existence, you could say. To please His devotees, to exchange love with His beloved devotees. We were reading in the other day one of the verses. Where is it from? I can't remember where it's from, but it's cited in Gurudev's introduction to Sharanagati, and I believe also Param Maharaj includes it in Prapana Jivanamrita. But it's a statement by the Lord saying that I don't even desire. I have no interest. Maybe it's in his response to Durvasa Muni in the situation with Ambarish Maharaj that comes up, saying that I have no desire to appear. I have no desire to enjoy my 6 opulences without my devotees, right? And those 6 opulences, they're what makes him God, really. The definition of Bhagavan is who is in full, Bhagavan, God, right? Who is in full possession of these 6 opulences, wealth, power, fame, beauty, renunciation, strength. So he's basically saying, I don't even want to be God, without my devotees, without the love of my devotees. So we can continue. Astrajiti bednam beder karan chakradi dadan bechuno sanatan. My dear Sanatan, just hear from me as I tell you how the different Vishnu Murtis hold their weapons, beginning with the disc, and how they are named differently according to the placement of objects in their hand. So this is the section we've all been waiting for. Dakshinado hasta hoite vamada paryanta chakradi astradadan gananaranta. The procedure for counting begins with the lower right hand and goes to the upper right hand, the upper left hand, and the lower left hand. Lord Vishnu is named according to the order the objects are held in his hands. Okay, here we go. Siddhartha Samhit Kore Chabish Murti Ganan Tarmate Kohi Age Chakradi Daran. According to the Siddhartha Samhita, there are 24 forms of Lord Vishnu. First I shall describe, according to the opinion of that book, the location of the weapons, beginning with the disc. And also this purport lists the 24 as well. And we'll read this just to hear it all in one chunk, these 24 names. So the 24 forms are Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Keshava, Narayan, Madhava, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudan, Trivikram, Vaman, Sridhar, Rishikesham, Padmanabh, Damodar, Purushottam, Achyuta, Nishinga, Janardhan, Hari, Krishna, Adhoksaja, and Upendra. So these are the names of the 24 forms. And now we're going to hear description of each of them and how the order in which they hold these instruments. Vasudev, Gadashankar, Chak. So this is what you can listen to, right? So the Gada is the club, the Shanka is the conch shell, everyone knows. Chakra is the chakra, everyone knows, the disc. Padma is the lotus. So these are the 4 things: the club, lotus. No, I was like club. I'm already getting mixed up. Well, this is Vasudeva. This is Vasudev's order: Gada, club, Shanka, conch, chakra, disc, Padma, lotus. So Vasudev, Gada, Shanka, chakra, Padmadar, Sankarshan, Gada, Shanka, Padma, Chakrakar. So then Sankarshan holds, so Vasudev holds the club, conch, disc, lotus. Sankarshan holds the club, conch, lotus, and disc.
The last 2.
Yeah, last 2 are switched around. And I will read the translation. In his lower right hand, Lord Vasudeva holds a club. In the upper right hand, a conch shell. In the upper left hand, a disc. And in the lower left hand, a lotus flower. In his lower right hand, Sankarshan holds a club. In his upper right hand, a conch shell. And in his upper left hand, a lotus flower. And in his lower left hand, a disc. It seems like there should be some paintings there must be, someone must have done. I don't think they have it in here. Of all of them, yeah. It would be a nice little project for someone. Pradyumna. I mean, it's a nice meditation, isn't it? It is. Pradyumna Chakra Shanka Gada Padmadar Anirudh Chakra Gada Shanka Padmakar. So Pradyumna holds the chakra. So it's like goes lower left, lower right, upper right, lower left, upper left. So Pradyumna holds the chakra, disc, conch, the Shankha, Gada, club, and lotus, Padma. And Aniruddha holds chakra, disc, Gada, club, Shankha, conch, Padma, lotus. Parvome Vasudevadi Nija Nidrastradar Tar Mata Kohiji Sabastrakar. Thus in the spiritual sky, the expansions headed by Vasudeva hold weapons in their own respective order. I am repeating the opinion of Siddhartha Samhita in describing them. So I will carry on. Shri Keshava Padma Shanka Chakra Gadadar Narayan Shanka Padma Gada Chakradar. So Keshava holds lotus, conch, disc, club. Narayan holds conch, lotus, club, and disc.
Does it give an explanation why they hold it in all different hands?
We don't here.
It doesn't say that.
No, it doesn't. Well, we mentioned yesterday, maybe you weren't here, Shudashava said he asked Gurudev that question once.
Yes.
And Gurudev just answered by reciting all these verses by heart.
Oh, he asked him why all the different levels.
Yeah, he's like, well, he asked him, like, why is this section included?
Oh,
That was how he asked, like, why is this here? And Gurudev just relished chanting all these verses. No doubt there is some meaning behind everything. But I don't think it's so necessary for us to know. Part of our, an essential part of our, life of Sharanagati. Shri Madhava Gada Chakra Shankha Padmakar Shri Govinda Chakra Gada Padma Shankadar. So Madhava holds, it starts with lower right, or is it upper right? I've forgotten now. Lower right?
I thought it was going wrong.
Yeah, lower right, yeah. So Madhava holds club, disc, conch, lotus. Govinda holds disc, club, lotus, conch. Vishnumurti Gada Padma Shankha Chakrakar Madhusudan Chakra Shankha Padma Gadadar. Lord Vishnu holds the club, lotus, conch, and disc. Madhusudan holds the disc, conch, lotus, and club. Trivikram Padma Gada Chakra Shankakar Shivaman Shankha Chakra Gada Padmadar. So Trivikram holds the lower right. Trivikram holds the lotus, club, disc, conch. Vamana holds the conch, disc, club, and lotus. Sridhar Padma Chakra Gada Shankakar Rishikesh Gada Chakra Padma Shankadar. Sridhar holds the lotus, disc, club, and conch. Rishikesh holds the club, disc, lotus, conch. Padmanabh Shankha Padma Chakra Gadakar Damodar Padma Chakra Gada Shankadar. So Padmanabh holds the conch, lotus, disc, club. Damodar holds the lotus, disc, club, and conch. Purushottam Chakra Padma Shankha Gadadar Shri Achyuta Gada Padma Chakra Shankadar. Purushottam holds the disc, lotus, conch, club. Achyuta holds the club, lotus. No, I did it the wrong way. Club, lotus, disc, and conch.
So there is a test after.
There is a test, which I will definitely fail.
It must be something like from the mercy or not, huh? Like from a certain hand either you get the tough stuff or the gentle stuff.
But maybe it's those conch, the disc, that's the main.
Yeah, those are the 4 items in different orders. Yeah, different permutations. Yeah. Shina Shinga Chakra Padma Gada Shankadar Janardan Padma Chakra Shanka Gadakar. So Nishinga holds the disc, lotus, club, conch. Janardan holds the lotus, disc, conch, and club. Shri Hari Shanka Chakra Padma Gadakar, Shri Krishna Shanka Gada Padma Chakrakar. So Hari, conch, disc, lotus, club, Krishna, different Krishna.
Which Krishna?
This is Vishnu Krishna, not Vrindavan Krishna. Krishna is not into weapons.
Yeah.
Krishna would just play with the lotus flower.
He just holds the flute.
Yeah, the flute. And so Krishna here holds the conch, club, lotus, disc. Adhokshaja Padmagada Shanka Chakrakar Upendra Shanka Gada Chakra Padmakar. Adhokshaja holds the lotus, club, conch, disc. Upendra holds the conch, club, lotus, disc, lotus. Hayashirsha Pancharache Kohe Shola Jan Tarmate Kohi Ebe Chakari Daran. According to the Hadashita Pancharatra, there are 16 personalities. I shall now describe the opinion of how they hold the weapons. So hang on.
What did you say?
Seems like there are different opinions about the
What did it just say?
According to the highest Shirsha Pancharatra, there are 16 personalities. So he was giving the opinion. Oh, this is just brilliant. He was giving the opinion of this text called the Siddhartha Samhita, which says there are 24 forms of Vishnu. But now, according to this other text, the highest Shirsha Pancharatra, there are 16. So I think did we go through 24 just now? Well, yeah, I guess we did. It went too fast. So there are different opinions. Oh my God, this is so wonderful. I mean, to think there are these ancient sages who really think this is so important. These are the things to worry about. This is what they're worried about. I mean, that's so wonderful.
They would be meditating on one of those or another one of those, and depending on...
Right, and the revelation that comes, right? And maybe Krishna's teasing them and showing them different forms, and who knows? Well, this never clicked before. So we hear about different opinions about how many there are and what's the order. So we heard the Siddhartha Samhita, opinion of that text. Now we're going to hear from the Hayashirsha Pancharatra. So according to that text, there are 16 personalities. I shall now describe that opinion of how they hold the weapons. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Mahaprabhu is telling all of this to Sanatana Goswami, yeah. So that's also kind of funny, Mahaprabhu is not giving his own opinion, right? It's interesting. He's just telling what's the opinion of these different sages, This is just wonderful. Keshava Bede Padma Shanka Gada Chakradar Madhava Bede Chakra Gada Shanka Padmakar. So, according to this Hayashirsha Pancharatra, Keshava holds the lotus, conch, club, disc. Madhava holds the disc, club, conch, lotus. So that means that there are all these different permutations, right? Because how many different arrangements of these 4 items, right? So is this totally different from that 24? I'm not sure. Well,
got a lot of meaning to it. If it's different, that means really a lot.
right. Well, if we really wanted to have fun, then we could compare the differences. What is Keshava holding according to the Siddhartha Samhita? According to the Siddhartha Samhita, Keshava holds the lotus conch disc club. According to the Hayashirja Pancharaja, Keshava holds the lotus. Hang on. Oh, it's almost the same.
Almost.
Almost.
It's only 4, you can't.
Well, true. the club and the disc are switched around. Krishna, forgive me.
It's got super duper deep meaning. It must do so much. Which hand comes to...
So Siddhartha Samhita says Keshava holds the lotus, conch, disc, and club. Hayashirsha Pancharaja says Keshava holds the lotus, conch, club, and lotus. Okay. And Madhava, anyway, that will take a long time to compare the two. And Madhava holds the disc, club, conch, and lotus. Narayan bede nana ashtra bedadar, ityadik bede sabastrakar. According to the Hayashirsha Pancharatra, Narayan and others are also presented differently as holding the... Oh my gosh, so there's another opinion. Oh no, this is the same. Okay, it's just referencing it again. It's the same. Hayashirsha Pancharatra. Narayan and others are also presented differently as holding the weapons in different hands. Swayam Bhagavan Lila Purushottam Eduinam Done Bhajenja Nandan. Okay, so it doesn't actually tell us all of the opinions of the Hayashirsha. It just gives an example, it seems. It doesn't tell all. Now we're moving on. Just when we were getting into it. Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, indicated as the son of Maharaj Nanda, has 2 names. One is Swayam Bhagavan and the other is Leela Purushottam. So Swayam Bhagavan, the original God, right? Original Godhead, God Himself, the original form from which all other Bhagavans, forms of God, expand. And then another way in which He's known is Leela Purushottam. Now this is an interesting name, interesting term, Leela Purushottam. It's because each form of the Lord is characterized by a particular quality, and like one primary quality, and He's known by that. And so, for example, as a comparison, Ramachandra, he's known as Maryada Purushottam. Purushottam means supreme person, right? And so Ramachandra, he epitomizes Dharma, right? He represents the acme of Dharma, of duty, piety, religiosity. So this name, this term, Maryada Purushottam, is referring to that. Who literally it means something like who represents like the highest limit of the Vedas. Whereas Krishna, by contrast, what is Krishna characterized by? Leela, play, right? So Krishna is known as the supreme God of play. That's his program. That's his agenda. Ramachandra is all about, following the Dharma, your duty, and all these things. And Krishna's playing, right? Ramachandra's example is helpful for this world, right? But Krishna's example is beyond this world. You can't make any comparison. Krishna's Leela, Krishna's whole play has no reference point to this world, right? Whereas Ramachandra's Leela is within this world, right? And is in reference to what's relevant in this world. So here this name of Krishna as Lila Purushottam is being mentioned. Puriravaran Rupe. So, we can't follow Krishna's example because has no relation to this world. It's all taking place on a completely different platform. So, oh, that's a nice mention, yeah. Vijay. So today's the day. I believe so, right?
No, that's Diwali. It's when he conquers Ravan. The day he kills Ravan.
Today.
Okay, Vijay, victory, right.
It's known as Vijay Dasami.
Right.
And then Diwali is when
he returns.
Celebrated.
I see.
To Ayodhya, yeah.
And all the residents of Ayodhya come out with like lamps, right?
Yeah.
Like welcoming him. I see.
But that's the Diwali.
That's Diwali. So today's the day when he conquered Ravan and rescued Sita.
Yeah. It's considered a good day to, generically speaking, to start something.
Okay.
Because it represents victory or accomplishment of an objective.
Right.
But that said, Mahaprabhu began his first tour to Vrindavan on Vijay Dasami, and that ended up with him coming back to Puri. Right? He went and met Rup Sanatan, but then decided too many people were with him.
So that was on Vijay Dashami.
Well, it says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita he leaves on Vijay Dasami.
Okay.
For that reason, because it's considered a good day to start.
Oh, I see. So Mahaprabhu himself, honored that date as a
I presume
auspicious
so.
day.
I don't know why else he would have left on that day.
Interesting. So, I don't know if you remember this, Gadadhar, but it turns out there are different opinions about the order in which these Vishnu avatars hold the disc club, conch and lotus. The Siddhartha Samhita gives one opinion, and then the Hayashirsha Pancharatra says there are 16 Vishnu forms, and there's a different order described there too. Okay. I'll read a little bit more. So we're hearing about these two important terms by which Krishna is referred to. Swayam Bhagavan, original Godhead, and Lila Purushottam, the Lord of play. So we can continue a little more. Pudiravaran rupe, pudir navadeshe, navavyuha rupe, navamurti parakashe. Lord Krishna personally surrounds Dwarka Puri as its protector. In different parts of the Puri city, Puri means city, in 9 places he expands in 9 different forms. Now we have quotation from Lagu Bhagavatamrita. Chatvado Vasudevadya Narayana Nashinghako Hayagrivo Mahakrodo Brahmacheti Navoditaha. The 9 personalities mentioned are Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Narayan, Nrsimha, Hayagriva, Raha, and Brahma. I'm going to read this purport. The Brahma mentioned herein is not a living entity. Sometimes when there is a scarcity of living entities to take charge of Brahma's post, Mahavishnu expands himself as Lord Brahma. This Brahma is not considered to be a living entity. He's an expansion of Vishnu. I see, that's interesting. So this is some special form of Lord Brahma who's protecting Dwarka. Interesting. And yes, we also hear that, right? That sometimes the Brahma who's presiding over a particular universe, it may be the Lord himself, because to achieve that position that requires a jiva of particular quality, right? And so there's not always a jiva of that standard available. It's mentioned that if someone carries out all of their duties in this world, varnashrama duties, perfectly for 100 lifetimes, then they can achieve that birth. So there's not always someone qualified for that. Prakash vilase koilo vivaran samshe bedebe shuno sanatan. I've already described the pastime and prakash forms. Now please hear about the different personal expansions. Sankarshan Matsyadik Dui Bedatar Sankarshan Purushavatar Lilavatar. The first personal expansion is Sankarshan, and the others are incarnations like the fish incarnation. Sankarshan is an expansion of the Purusha or Vishnu. The incarnations such as Matsya, the fish incarnation, appear in different yugas for specific pastimes. I think for our next class tomorrow, I'll bring out. You can find some nice like charts on the internet that ISKCON have done, like showing all these different. It would be nice to see it all illustrated. I'll find that for tomorrow's to remind myself. Avatar Hoy Krishna. Again, as we were saying yesterday with Gadadhar, these things aren't so essential for us to know or to have perfect understanding of. But at the same time, it's being presented here. It's helping to ground our appreciation for the nature. It's kind of like a geography lesson, right? Or something like that. And so it's giving some support to our faith in some way. And it's a little more engaging if we have some visual aids, as they say nowadays. So we'll try and have that for tomorrow. Avatar Hoy Krishna, Shadveda Prakar, Purush Avatar, Lila Avatar. There are 6 types of incarnations, avatars of Krishna. One is the incarnations of Vishnu, Purush avatars, and another is the incarnations meant for the performance of pastimes, Lila avatars. So there are many different types of avatars, right? And we also hear about, they come for different reasons. And we also hear about the Yuga avatars, probably more commonly, right? Descend. This word incarnation is not really quite right. More like it's descent of the Lord. So this Yuga avatar is the descent of the Lord who's coming to spread the Dharma of age, right? The Yuga Dharma. There are incarnations that control the material qualities, guna avatars. Incarnations of the Manus, Manvantar avatars. Incarnations in different millenniums, Yuga avatars. And incarnations of empowered living entities, Shakti-Vesh avatars. And we all know, right? Or Param Guru Maharaj described Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, right? As Shakti-Vesh avatars. Our jiva soul, who is empowered with personally empowered, directly empowered by the Lord to perform, this work. And like Gurudev used to say, it's not possible for a human being to do what he did, on such a huge scale to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Balya poganda hoy vigrahera dharma etarupe lila koren brajen janandana. Childhood and boyhood are the typical ages of the deity. Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda, performed his pastimes as a child and as a boy. Because Krishna never grows up, right? And so these are the 2 focal points of his Leela, his boyhood, childhood, and then his teenage years, Kaishor we also hear. Early youth. Anantavatar Krishna Nahiko Ganan Shaka Chandranyai Koni Digdadashan. There are innumerable incarnations of Krishna, and there is no possibility of counting them. We can simply indicate them by giving the example of the moon and the branches of a tree. So we hear this phrase from our gurus sometimes. This well, two are actually mentioned here. They're not given in the translation. But dig dadashan means like pointing in the direction kind of thing. Dig means like direction. Darshan, like seeing. It's like giving some indication, putting you in the right direction. And then the Shaka Chandra Nyaya we also hear, and that's given in the translation. Means the logic of seeing the moon through the branches of a tree, right? That someone's trying to find the moon, and you say, "Oh, well, look on the branches of that tree, follow along there, and then you'll see the moon," right? So actually, your understanding of the moon, your perception of the moon, it's very limited, right? But you're getting some idea, right? Giving some small idea. So Mahaprabhu is saying, humbly, I'm not able to really convey the glorious, infinite qualities and nature of Krishna. I'm giving some idea, giving some touch of who this is and what this is. There's one prayer, I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it, one prayer of Rupa Goswami where he's like apologizing to the Lord, saying, we're always using these different analogies, like lotus flowers, to convey your beauty, but this is nothing. This is giving some very tiny, tiny conception of what your beauty actually is. Avatara yasankyeya hare sattvan. No, sorry, it's a different meter. This is a Sanskrit quotation from Bhagavatam. Avatara yasankyeya hare sattva nide dvijaha yata vista shina kolya sadasasyu sadas rashaha. O learned Brahmins, just as hundreds and thousands of small ponds issue from great reservoirs of water, innumerable incarnations flow from Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the reservoir of all power. Pratame kore Krishna Purushavatar Seto Purusha hoy Trivida Prakar. In the beginning, Krishna incarnates himself as Purusha avatars or Vishnu incarnations. These are of three types. Well, I think that might be a good place to stop. We'll hear about these Purusha avatars. All right. Anything to add, Glana?
And do we consider like Sudha Maharaj and Sudha Govinda Maharaj Shakti Vaishya avatars as well? I'm not that anyone's said it, but
I mean, who are we to say?
Yeah.
You know.
No one's.
Yeah, I mean, my Isha Bandhu Prabhu, he's my good friend. Lately he's been saying like he thinks Gurudev and Param Guru Maharaj aren't even Jiva Shakti. He thinks they're Srup Shakti. How can we know? But we know we can say Nitya Siddha, right? Parshad group, right? Eternal associate. We'll think of that. They're definitely eternally. They've come from up there. Right? They've descended from Goloka Vrindavan. But what are all the details of that? We can't be sure. And
it was specific. It was a special kind of Shakti Avesh in the case of Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, because it was Shakti Avesh of Nityananda Prabhu.
Right.
His primary function, primary service was to spread the deep Gauravani, the Mahaprabhu, right? And this is what Srila Prabhupada, Swami Maharaj, carried out. So he was described as a Shakti Avesh, or identified, you could say, as a Shakti Avesh avatar of Nityananda Prabhu. It's kind of a very special case.
Yeah. I would go with that, It's a unique, special case, But that doesn't mean that, anyway, we don't want to make comparison, right?
No.
It's a thing.
I just didn't know if anyone had ever said
I mean that, as Gadadhar says, that was like a special comment Srila Sridhar Maharaj made about Srila Swami Maharaj, but no, haven't heard like that.
Also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, I forget where, but I guess in the Anjali or somewhere, it talks about how Mahaprabhu makes an appearance in 3 different ways. And one is Shakshat,
Right.
one is Avesh,
Right.
and one is Avirbhav.
Right.
And so the Avesh manifestation is when Mahaprabhu empowers someone, actually kind of enters into that person's consciousness and empowers them in a particular way, perhaps for a particular functional service. And of course Shakshat is direct appearance, and Avirbhav is when Mahaprabhu appears but not physically. So, is there but not showing in physical form. The Shakshat is once, in the 14th, 15th centuries when Mahaprabhu appeared.
Right.
That's Shakshat being done.
Right,
but
directly.
The others may come from time to time.
Right.
And Avesh is when Mahaprabhu appears, like as mentioned before, as an empowerment,
Right.
a factor of empowerment in science.
Right.
And the example given in the verse is of Nishramananda Brahmachari, who was the one that actually when Mahaprabhu was gone to go to Vrindavan the first time, and he was, in his consciousness, he was decorating the path. And he saw that his visualization stopped at some point. He couldn't construct the path to Vrindavan any further. And so he made the prediction, it's not going to happen this time. And of course it turned out correct. But he was given as an example of Avesh, where Mahaprabhu was empowered someone who's personal. So I guess, the point being that it can happen, that someone can be, if the example is given in the Srimananda Brahmachari, they can be, but is that a Shaktivesh avatar? I don't know. But it's some kind of empowerment.
Yeah.
Avesh. A Shakti Avesh. But I remember Guru, and just, slightly in regards to that, different ways that Mahaprabhu appears. When Guru Maharaj he was saying once he was on his brander and he felt the presence of Mahaprabhu. Do you remember that history Guru Maharaj recounts? And it may have been in regard to some specific topic or subject matter, or just something a little more spontaneous or random perhaps. But Guru Maharaj talks about it. He says, I directly felt the presence of Mahaprabhu there. And he says, I was crying and crying and crying with ecstasy. You recall that history?
I don't think so, no.
I have to try and find it because I've mentioned it to a few people and people go, I don't remember that. I don't think it's published in a book.
Okay.
But it's recorded.
Spoken,
Yeah. And because I definitely remember, 100% remember reading it. And thinking at the time, well, that is the Avirbhav, that is a example of Avirbhav manifestation of Mahaprabhu mentioned in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyway, that's my little contribution.
Very nice. Okay, well, can stop. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. I think Navagarangi had signed up for Hari Harai Nama Krishna. Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Krishavaya Namaha Gopa Govindaram Shri Madhusudana Giri Hari Gopinath Dana Mohana Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat West London Chapter Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.